Hey guys, Jesse and Justin Klein here with the Klein Real Estate team. We're here to talk about distressed pre-construction sales today. It's a question we get a lot, people asking us about distressed sales because it can be a great source for getting a good deal.
Justin and I actually almost bought a distressed assignment from somebody back in 2019. Another realtor had the listing and then we received it. And we almost bought it personally because it was a townhouse and they were like blowing this thing out for 550 grand 10 days before the developer was requiring completion, and the buyer had picked up multiple of these things, didn't have the means to close on it, and he had to let it go at a loss. And we passed on it, unfortunately.
Regret.
Big regret. A couple weeks after the completion, other people in the complex actually sold their units for about $650,000. So it would have been about $100,000 lift immediately after completion. That wasn't due to the market. It was a pretty flat market at the time. So if you can get these at the right opportunity and the right project from the right person with the right market timing, super lucrative. I mean, you can make six figures in a matter of weeks. So pretty cool opportunities. But is this happening now? That's the thing. We got so many people asking us, they think these are happening now. We're going to walk you guys through the market, the incentives, how this all works, and when to look out for them. And stay tuned at the end of the video as well, because we're going to show you how you can get these opportunities and sign up for them.
So this is a building in Clayton. We're going to walk you through a few assignments that are on the MLS right now and just go through some of these examples.
Okay, so you can see we screenshot this listing on our website, kleinteam.com. It's got all the details here. This one's actually posted on the MLS. Not all assignments get posted on the MLS, but this one is. And it's a development in Clayton. $549,000 is the list price. $400,000, that's about what these were selling for back in 2020, September, which is when they pre-sold. So that's probably around the original contract price that was paid for this. And that leaves $150,000 profit that they're asking. Now, that seems crazy because everybody keeps saying to us, hey, let me know if anybody with these assignments is in trouble. Well, this guy's trying to make 150 grand. And you know what? He's probably not that far off on his pricing for this one. 640,000 was actually the peak pricing back in February. There was a sale for the same floor plan and it sold for 640 grand, which is 15% decline in the market. So why would the Steiner fire sale this if they're still $150,000 above their purchase price? They're not going to. And that's why for people that are asking right now, hey, any assignment deals? Not in the Fraser Valley for anything that was bought prior to, like, I would say the first half of 2021 and earlier. We're still so far above that pricing that there's way too much meat on the bone here. So sorry, vultures, we're not there yet. So someone like this, they're either just going to list it well before completion, wait for somebody to come along and give them a decent price. It is harder to sell assignments because the purchaser can't view the unit in person. They're going off of a floor plan. They're not communicating with the developer directly. They're not in a sales center. They're not viewing the model. A lot of negatives. And so typically assignments do sell for a little bit less, but there's still so much meat on the bone there. They're getting at a decent price in an assignment. Or if they don't want to sell it as an assignment, they can just get private financing at like 10, 12% interest. But who cares? Because as long as they can just close on that unit, list it for sale immediately, then maybe you have to hold it for like 60 days. But the condo market's still pretty liquid, and like sure, prices might be down 50 or 100 grand since the peak. But if you list below everybody else with a brand new unit, you're going to sell it super quickly. And you're still going to make 100 grand or 150 grand, whatever it is, you're still going to do great. So no way that somebody like this is going to fire sale this unit and just blow it out.
So you hear about people going underwater with their pre-sales, and often, that's from the GTA where you can be paying up to 30% premium to purchase that pre-sale and have that piece of paper to say that you own it for those few years that it's actually being built.
And what that means is like, okay, like Jimmy down the road has his condo that he lived in for 2 years, listed for $1 million, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,000 square feet. Yeah. And then you pay 1.3 for like the same condo to hold it on paper and complete in a few years, which is crazy.
Yeah. So it doesn't really happen in the Fraser Valley if you consider, this condo that was sold back in 2020 when that pre-sale for this unit was happening. It was sold for $407,000. The other one with the GST, you're pretty much only paying the GST in addition, and this is an older unit, just slightly larger. So the pricing is actually very close, whether or not you bought a pre-sale in 2020 or a resale unit.
Yeah, so you weren't paying a massive premium to the market and you're not like banking on this appreciation before you close. Okay, now let's talk about where we might see some distress. This is what everybody's been waiting for. So let's take a look at this unit here. I screenshot it from our MLS system. We're not allowed to show the address, but this unit sold, pre-sold in December of 2021, so about 8 or 9 months ago, for $719,000. Now remember, you got to pay GST on top of that, so you're going to be coming in at $755K after GST. And that's an 899 square foot unit. It's going to be completed in 2023. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, pretty generic, like 4-story wood building. I mean, they had a couple nice features. They're going to have AC and like gas range and whatever, but a lot of new developments are kind of up in their game a little bit with that stuff. So nothing too exciting. It was in South Surrey. So the resale market for similar condos in South Surrey now is about 680K. It's come down, maybe that 75, 100K from the peak pricing. Likely has a bit more downside as well, so watch out for that. So this development's going to complete in late 2023, and it's at risk of values being below the purchase price. $755K, including GST, minus $680 lands you $75,000 gap. This is called an appraisal gap, and this is where pre-sale purchasers really start to run into problems. So you put your deposit down in this pre-sale unit, let's say it's 20%. You're going to this thinking, okay, I paid $755K including GST. I'm putting down my 20%, and then the bank's gonna finance 80% of that $755K, which is an expected $604,000. That's what you're expecting to get from the bank at completion. But then you come to your completion in late 2023, the bank does an appraisal on the unit and they say, hey, other condos in the area that are also new are only selling for $680,000 now, or maybe it's even less, maybe at $650, maybe at $600. So you've got what we call an appraisal gap, $755K minus a $680K appraisal. Now the bank is only willing to lend $544,000 on that $680K, which is an 80% loan to value. They're not willing to lend that 80% on the original contract price, only what it's worth at the time of completion. Because our market here in Vancouver has been so steady for so long and so consistent, people don't think about this as a big risk. They don't think, okay, I'm gonna, write this contract on this pre-sale for this price. 3 years later, 4 years later, I'm gonna have to complete. They think it's a very low risk that the bank will appraise it lower because our market typically just goes up or at least stays flat over the period of a few years. So now you're short 604 minus 544, you're short 60K. And you need that to complete on this unit. And if you don't complete, the developer's going to sue you. They're going to resell the unit, sue you for the difference. So, and they're going to keep your deposit as well. So that 60K shortfall, you got to come up with that in cash. I don't know about you, but do you just have like 60K cash sitting around? Not a lot of people do. And that's where you start to run into these fire sale pre-sales that you come up on the completion date. The buyer's thinking, I'm going to arrange my financing. They call their bank. The bank's like, okay, order an appraisal. You're like 3 weeks before completion. You get the appraisal back. Like, okay, we need an extra 60K. You're like, what? And how long do I have to get it? 3 weeks. What? Right? And then that's when you get this assignment. It goes up on the MLS or it goes out privately to realtor networks. And then you need to find a buyer quick that can close fast and has the cash. And that's how you end up with a distressed assignment sale. So this is something that could be happening later in 2023 and beyond from projects that sold in the second half of 2021 at elevated prices and in 2022.
So the other area that we can see distress selling is with flippers. These are people who buy 1 or 2 or 3 properties in a development thinking that they're never going to actually have to complete on them. They're just going to flip the
Terrible
papers.
idea. Don't do this.
Don't ever do it. If you can't actually afford to complete on the property, don't buy it. The person that we almost bought that assignment from on that townhouse did exactly this. He bought multiple units within the complex and then simply just couldn't complete on them and had to get rid of them. When you're creeping up on a loan to value of 100%, it's going to be really difficult to find that financing.
Yeah, even private financing, even somebody who's going to lend at 12%. If your loan to value is starting to get to 100% because the property values are down, they're probably not going to want to touch that. And you won't even be able to complete with a 12% interest rate. There's just no way to do it. Yeah, so you should never buy anything that you are not able to complete on for this reason. Can totally financially wreck you, lose your down payments, get sued for the difference if the market's really bad as well. And also, when you're assigning, you have to pay the developer 2 or 3% usually as an assignment fee, if they even allow you to assign it. If it's a big project and they have lingering inventory, they're probably not going to allow you to assign it because they want to sell their units first. So, but if the project's sold out, often they will let you assign it, but they're going to want their 2 or 3% off the purchase price to do that. And it gets expensive. So, and it's difficult to sell those assignments. So never a great idea to just plan on flipping the property without getting your financing.
So if you want to find crazy deals like we did, where we could have made $100,000 within a few weeks, sign up on our website. The link's in the description below. We're going to be looking out for these assignment deals and sending them to specific groups of people who sign up.